Today, we're going to talk about a story of incredible athletic achievement that was deliberately twisted into a lie. A lie so powerful, it literally set women's sports back for decades. So, picture this. It's 1928, and this is what you're reading in the newspaper. This quote, and a whole bunch like it, painted this picture of absolute chaos, of female athletes being too frail for the Olympic Games. And you know what? This became the official story. That's the million-dollar question, right? Was this really a scene of horrific physical failure, or was there something else going on entirely? Well, let's dig in and find out. To really get to the truth here, we've got to go back. We're heading to Amsterdam, 1928, to understand what was happening at this absolutely pivotal moment in sports history. You have to understand this was a huge deal. Before 1928, the Olympic establishment, which basically saw women as the gentler sex, had barred them from most track events. So Amsterdam was supposed to be this massive step forward. And believe me, the whole world was watching. Okay, so now let's zoom in on the event that started this whole controversy, the women's 800-meter final. And for a minute, let's just ignore all those crazy headlines and look at what the film and the stopwatches actually recorded. Okay. So the reality, it completely blows the headlines out of the water. Not only did every single woman who started the race finish it, but the winner, Lena Rodga from Germany, didn't just win, she smashed the world record. This wasn't failure. This was a showcase of elite athleticism. I mean, of course they were tired. Have you ever actually watched an 800-meter race? It's a brutal, all-out sprint for 2 laps. So yeah, they were leaning over, they sat down on the grass to catch their breath. You know, exactly what any male athlete does after leaving every ounce of energy on the track to break a world record. This wasn't some dramatic collapse. It was simply recovery. Let's just put this side by side, because the difference is just wild. The lie said 11 women started, but only 5 finished. The truth, 9 started, 9 finished. Every single one. The lie painted this picture of fragility. The truth was, it was a fiercely competitive race where a new world record was set. So how on earth did a story that was so completely false become the truth? Well, the problem wasn't just some bad reporting in the newspapers. The real issue was the fallout. These made-up stories weren't just misinformation. They had absolutely devastating consequences. You see, the sports press back then was overwhelmingly male, and a lot of reporters were just deeply uncomfortable with the sight of women pushing themselves physically. So they didn't report what they saw, they reported what their own biases wanted them to see. They literally invented a story of fainting, collapsing women because it fit the narrative they'd already believed. And the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, many of whom never even wanted women in track and field in the first place, they seized on these sensational articles. Without even checking the facts or looking at the footage, they used this fake news as so-called medical proof that women were, just not built for distance running. So, as a direct result of those fabricated reports, this race, the 800 meters, the very same event where a world record was just shattered, was now suddenly deemed too dangerous for female athletes. The 800 meters was completely eliminated from the Olympic program for women. For the next 3 decades, the longest distance they were allowed to run on the world's biggest stage was a mere 200 meters, a sprint. And the impact of this decision wasn't just a temporary thing. A 32-year wait began, and the consequences would echo for an entire generation. This timeline really puts it all into perspective. 32 years. Think about that. That's an entire athletic career, maybe even 2. For 3 decades, countless talented female runners never got the chance to prove what they could do at the Olympics, all because of a story that was invented back in 1928. So let's just be crystal clear. This wasn't some mistake or a simple misunderstanding. It was a lie, plain and simple. A lie born from prejudice and then amplified by an institution that was all too eager to believe it. It effectively stole the dreams of thousands of women who were told they were too fragile to do something their bodies were perfectly capable of. And this really leaves us with a much bigger question. The story of the 1928 women's 800 meters is a powerful reminder that history isn't always a perfect record of what happened. Sometimes it's just a record of the story that the people in power chose to tell. It makes you wonder, what else do we think we know that's actually just a lie we've all been told?